Welcome to Math 10C. We're on Chapter 1, Topic 1.1, Imperial Measures of Length. In 1976, Canada adopted the SI units to measure length. However, construction and manufacturing industries continue to use imperial units. Many Canadians use imperial units to measure their height. We always say we're 6 feet 1 inch, 4 feet 9 inches, 5 feet 4 inches. Those are imperial units. What is your height? Look around the classroom. Which objects have a length of about 1 foot? Which objects have a length of about 1 inch? And which objects have a length of about 1 yard? Here we have a measurement. This is about 1 foot. A binder is about 1 foot in length. People have been measuring for thousands of years. Early tradespeople created their own measuring devices and units. For example, people measured the distance between two places by the number of days it took to travel from one place to the other. Over time, these units were standardized as imperial units, and relationships between the units were determined. The imperial unit for measuring long distances is the mile. The length of 1 mile was first established as the distance a Roman soldier could walk in 1,000 paces. 1 pace is considered to be 2 steps. Here is some of the standard units that people have used, and the referent, which was the unit that it first was used as. An inch, abbreviation is 1 inch. The referent, it was actually the thumb length, the length of your thumb. A foot was, of course, a foot length. And the standard relationship was that 1 foot was the same as about 12 inches. Then there was a yard. A yard was considered an arm span. 1 yard is the same as 3 feet, and 1 yard is also then 36 inches. Then lastly, there was a mile. Mile was further, the referent was used as the distance walked in 20 minutes. That compares to the earlier one of a Roman soldier's 1,000 paces. Either way, 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards, and 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Here's a yardstick. Notice that 1 yard is longer than 1 foot, and actually it's going to be 3 feet that are going to be equal to 1 yard. Many rulers, marked with imperial units, show 1 inch divided into eighths, tenths, or sixteenths. To measure the length of an object, you must first determine the smallest indicated unit by counting the number of divisions between 2 adjacent inch marks. The ruler below has 16 divisions between 2 adjacent inch marks, so the smallest indicated unit is 1/16 of an inch. Was written as 1/16 of an inch. The pencil point is closest to the 7th division mark between 3 inches and 4 inches, so its length is considered to be 3 7/16 inches. Notice the line going down to 7/16. A fraction of an imperial measure of length is usually written in fraction form, not in decimal form. Let's look at example 1 and do some converting. Here we have converting between imperial units. A, convert 5 yards to feet and then to inches. Well, first of all, if we compared yards to feet, we would say that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Now we can say 5 yards is going to be how many feet? Well, let's put an x there and cross multiply. 1 times x is x, and 3 times 5 will give me 15 feet. If we compared yards to inches, we have 1 yard is the same as 36 inches. So now we got 5 yards is going to be x inches. Cross multiply again. 1 times x is x, and 36 times 5 is 180 inches. Our next one, B. We have converting 51 inches to feet and inches. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say, first of all, that 51 feet is how many feet and how many inches left over. Since 1 foot is 12 inches, 12 times 4 is 48. So 48 inches out of 51 inches would be 4 feet. So we could say that's 4 feet with 3 inches left over. And that's what our answer is going to be. 4 feet, 3 inches is the same as 51 inches. If we do 51 inches into yards, feet, and inches, we first of all are going to say 51 divided by 36 inches would give me 1 yard. That leaves me, if I take out 36 inches for my 1 yard, I still have 15 inches left over. With the 15 inches left over, I'm going to make that into 1 foot, because that makes 12 inches, and I still have 3 inches left over. So 51 inches is going to equal 1 yard, 1 foot, and 3 inches. Let's let you do that one. Stop the tape, finish this, and then move on and see how it works out. Here we go. Yards to feet. 7 yards to feet is 1 yard is 3 feet. So 7 yards, cross multiply, you should have gotten 21 feet. Yards to inches is 1 to 36, which is 7 over x. Again, cross multiply, and you should get x is equal to 252 inches. With part B, 62 inches, converting that to feet and inches, well, 62 divided by 12 is going to give me 5. Or I can say 1 foot is 12 inches. 5 feet is going to give me 60 inches, which gives me 5 feet with 2 inches left over, or 5 feet, 2 inches. If you were 62 inches tall, you could say to be 5 feet, 2 inches tall. Now, if we converted 62 inches into yards, feet, and inches, I could first of all divide that by 36, and I'd get 1 yard. I know I've got 2 inches left over, because 5 feet from previously is the same as 1 yard with 2 feet left over. And I can say that I have 1 yard, 2 feet, and 2 inches. In example 2, we're solving a problem involving converting between the units. Anne is framing a picture. The perimeter of the framed picture will be 136 inches. What will be the perimeter of the framed picture in feet and inches? And then B, the framing material is sold by the foot, costs $1.89 a foot, and what will be the cost of materials before taxes? So for part A, we're going to have to take our 136 inches and convert that into feet and inches. Well, if I divided 136 by 12, that'll tell me how many whole feet I've got, and that's 11.33 feet. Well, 11 feet, 11 times 12, is going to give me 132 inches. So 132 inches of my 136 inches is going to be used up by my 11 feet. So I can say my answer is going to be 11 feet, which is going to leave me with 4 inches left over. So there you have it. 136 inches is 11 feet, 4 inches. B. Since it's only sold by the foot, I'll have to purchase 12 feet. One more than 11 feet, 4 inches. So 12 whole feet times the cost of $1.89 is going to give me a cost of $22.68 before taxes. Go ahead and do number 2 on your own, and then start again. Here we have 37 feet to yards, feet, and inches. And we're going to have 37 feet divided by 3 is going to give me 12 yards. So it'll be 36 feet with 1 foot left over. 13 yards by 5.99 gives me a total cost of $77.87 before taxes. Example 3. School council has 6 yards of fabric that's going to be cut into strips 5 inches wide to make a decorative banner for the school dance. So imagine that goes and lays out 6 yards, and they're going to be cutting 5-inch strips to make banners. How many banners can be made? Well, we're going to say 6 yards times 36 inches per yard is going to give me 216 inches. If I take 216 and divide it by 5, I'm going to get 43.2, which tells me that they can make 43 banners. In B, I can say inches to yards is going to be 36 to 1. Is going to be x to 6, and cross multiplying is going to give me 1 times x is x, and 6 times 36 is going to give me 216 inches. Check your understanding. 1 yard is the same as 36 inches, is equal to 4 yards to x, to cross multiply. 4 times 36 is 144 inches. And we can again say 144 divided by 8 is going to give me 18 bracelets. In our last example, solving a problem using scale diagrams, a map of Alaska has a scale of 1 to 4,750,000. That means for every 1 mile, it's 4 million miles. For every 1 centimeter, it's 4,750,000 centimeters. For every 1 inch, it's 4,750,000 inches. So the distance on a map between Paxton and the Canadian border is 3 and 11/16 inches. What's this distance to the nearest mile? Well, we first of all got to figure out how many inches that is. So what we're going to say is that every time we do scale drawings, we're comparing the drawing to the actual length. So the drawing is going to be 1 to 4,750,000. That means 1 inch is the same as 4,750,000 inches. That's 3 and 11/16 compared to x. Now to solve this, we will cross multiply, but first we have to convert 11/16 into decimal form so that we can work with it easier. To do that, we're going to go 11 divided by 16, and you're going to get 0.6875. So now we're going to set it up so that when we cross multiply, 1 times x is x, and 4,750,000 times 3.6875 is going to give us 17,515,625 inches to the Canadian border. Well, if I divide that by 12, I'm going to get 1,459,635 feet. And then if I take the feet and divide that by 5,280, I'm going to get 276.4, or approximately 276 miles. Again, to convert it from inches to feet, I divided by 12, and the other one I divided by 5,280. Follow the same procedure to figure out, check your understanding. You have 8 million inches, 692,000 feet, and it works out to 131 miles. That's the end of this lesson. And your homework assignment is to do page 11, numbers 1 to 18 for homework.